What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Happy, what day is it? Friday? Almost forgot there. Today, we're going to talk more about turning your passion into a business, of course. And today, I'm going to be talking about people who your passion is like really obvious to you. So I'm going to be talking about the scenario uh, where the thing that you're good at or the thing that you like is so um like it seems obvious or dumb or easy to you, and so you don't do it for other people because you think it's not valuable. So we're going to talk about that. You may not even know who you are. I'm calling you out because this type of hidden passion is sort of something that slips through everybody's radar. It's kind of that thing that's like, I'm really good at that, but I don't think it's a thing that's valuable to be good at, type of thing. So if you think that could be you, stick around. If you don't think that could be you, maybe still stick around because it probably is you. I'm pretty sure almost everybody does this because it's almost like a psychological phenomenon that I've noticed when I learn a new skill. And it happens all the time. Maybe it's just a me thing, but whenever I learn a new skill, there's almost like this assumption that because I'm learning it, everybody else knows it too. And I think this can be really taken to an extreme where somebody's really good at something like artistic, right? And they can just draw anything that they want. Literally, like you can ask them, hey, give me a photorealistic version of this desk, and they'll like whip it out, right? So there's people out there who can literally just draw anything they want or create anything they want with art or music or, tech or coding, or they're a good leader and they don't even see themselves as, like, oh, I just do what I do, right? They don't even see themselves as a good leader because they take it for granted. So this live is for all the people who take their skills for granted. And you know what? I can tell you, if you're not sure if this is you, it's probably you if you don't think you're good at anything useful. Like if you think that you have no skills or no talents or no value at all, like if you just think that you're not particularly valuable, this live is probably for you, right? I'm going to be probably talking directly to you. Now, as I get this going here, you might hear me a little bit because I am getting the comments open. So yeah, again, like this live is particularly for people who don't think that they are good at anything valuable. All right. That's very weird. Oh, there we go. That's what we need. Why is this? Hold on. I'm dealing with a troubleshooting thing here. Give me just 30 seconds. Okay, looks like it's good. Okay, great. So, like I said, this live is for you if you don't think you're good at anything valuable. Okay. And if that's you, there should be a link somewhere in the description. I'd love to have you come up and talk to me. But we're going to talk a little bit about this scenario here. So, usually I can relate these to something that's happened in my life because I've really gone through the ringer with my passion. And I know something will come up because I definitely felt this before. I want to say that this has happened with. You know what? I need to think about that for a second because it's definitely happened for a few things, but maybe just going through this story here that I have in front of me will jog something. So I'm going to go through this first. We're going to talk about somebody named Taylor. Okay. Taylor is very talented. Okay. And Taylor doesn't think much of themselves. They think, why would somebody pay me for this? Right. They're so good at something that they don't think it's special. Right. It's been such a big part of their life that it doesn't seem special to them. even though it might seem special to other people who need help with that, right? And so the best way I can relate this issue to you is like, what does a fish not know exists? There's something really clear and obvious that a fish does not know about, and that is water. And the reason that a fish does not know about water is because it lives in it. Okay. Water is literally the medium that it lives in. So a fish does not bother itself thinking about, like, what's this water stuff? Right. It doesn't even know the water exists because it's in it. And so this is going to be very, very similar thing for you. If you have a talent that you don't think is special, that's probably your water because you've been in it your whole life. You've been good at it your whole life. It seemed something that's obvious and easy to you your whole life. Right. And so for somebody to think that that's wild or special, right? Like, let's say I've never seen water before and you're a fish. And I come and I'm like, teach me how to swim. I don't know what this water stuff. And you're like, I mean, it's not that valuable. Like, you can learn that from anybody. I'm like, but I want to learn it from you because you're a good swimmer. All right. So there are going to be things out there where you don't think that they're that great, right? You might be even really good at something and you don't think it's that great. And other people do, right? And so back to Taylor. Taylor thinks, why would people pay me for this? Taylor's 34, and she's always been the person friends come to when they need help, like getting organized, for example. We're going to go with getting organized because Taylor has always lived her life keeping things organized, right? Living in an organized space. When she goes to someone's house and it's messy, she doesn't get that. She doesn't understand how somebody can live like that, right? It doesn't make any sense to her. So Taylor can look at a messy situation like a physical space, like someone's schedule, like a business, finances, whatever. And Taylor will almost immediately see what needs to be cleaned up first, what needs to happen first, what needs to be ignored, and how to make everything simpler, right? How to simplify it down so that it's not so overwhelming and distracting. So Taylor has her friends help set up systems, plan launches, organize their weeks. Like, she's helping her friends do all these things, like basically organize their life. And anytime her friends need help with something, they'll come to her to organize it for them and get that clarity. People regularly tell her, I don't know how you make this seem so obvious. And the problem to Taylor, this is kind of it's like the strength and the problem at the same time, is that it does seem obvious to her. It seems obvious, like how you organize a schedule, how you clean up a space, how you organize a business and get focused. It's really obvious to Taylor, right? Because that's how Taylor lives. That's their life. They don't understand how people can live messy and get by. And the fact is that they don't get by that well, right? They've got everything kind of just in a heap of mess, right? So um when someone suggests to Taylor that Taylor should open a business around helping overwhelmed entrepreneurs simplify their operations, she would dismiss it because she'll think, I mean, I'm organized, I'm just not doing anything special, right? It's just normal to me. Or why would somebody else think this is valuable? This isn't that great, right? This is just how I live. So Taylor starts looking for something more impressive that she can build a business around instead. Something, it's got to be more profound. It's got to be more impactful. And so she considers learning how to do paid ads and AI automation and then getting some kind of business certification, right? Because she thinks if she can help businesses get like a tangible, measurable result like that, then it's going to be better, right? It's going to be more valuable for people. Meanwhile, three different people have asked Taylor for help with the exact same thing, the exact same problem this last month with getting organized. So, let's see. So Taylor's question is, why would somebody pay me to help them organize their business when they could probably figure this stuff out themselves? Right? Makes sense. Why would you go out and do something for a business that they can very easily pick up and do themselves? Doesn't make sense, right? And so tailor is measuring value by how difficult it feels to tailor. Okay, this is the important distinction. Tailor is measuring the value of what Tailor can provide based on how difficult it is to tailor. And I think this is probably the trap that most people fall in. You're judging how difficult it is based on like how difficult it is for you, but not on necessarily how difficult it is for the average person or, even just a niche audience that really needs help with something because just because something is not difficult for a lot of people doesn't mean that there aren't people on the world who it is not difficult for. If you couldn't follow that, just because most people have an easy time with something doesn't mean there aren't people who have a hard time with something. Okay. If there are people in the world who have a hard time with something, solving that might be extremely valuable for them, right? It could be something very simple like eating. Like some people have trouble eating. If you helped them eat, that would be extremely valuable to that person, right? Even though you eat every single day and you think it's not that valuable to help someone eat, or a robot could do it, right? But maybe that person wants a human touch. Maybe it's valuable to them to have the connection paired with that, right? So you don't really always think about these things. You don't think about naturally how valuable is this going to be to someone else just because it's not valuable to me. It's not like a natural thought that we have unless you're paying attention to it, right? But the customer does not care how much effort Taylor is putting into this. They don't care how much effort you put into the solution, right? If it's hard for them to achieve, if it's hard for them to get, it's valuable because it's hard for them, right? So a customer is always going to judge it based on how hard is it for me, not how hard is it for you. So just because you think something's easy does not mean that other people think it's not valuable. So really check in with that. If you've been somebody who uh, you think, why would people pay me for this? It's such an obvious, boring skill that I have. Why would somebody actually pay me for this? This does not seem valuable. Well, let the people decide. It's not necessarily up to you if your customers think your service is valuable. That's not what's important. What's important is that they do, right? And that you're actually helping them with something that they need because value is all subjective. There's no like you can't look up some objective list of value, okay? So the whole field of what is valuable to somebody is 100% subjective. You have to ask people what's going to be valuable to them before you can offer necessarily something valuable and expect it to be valuable. And it's not going to be something, that it's not going to be based on, oh, I think this is obvious or, oh, I've done this really well my whole life. So it must not be that great. It's not going to be based on that. It's going to be based on what people's needs are. All right. If you are on here and you need help with anything turning your passion into a business, there is a link in the description. You are invited to join me on here, ask a question if you'd like. But what we're talking about is basically like if you're somebody who thinks your skill is so obvious that it's not valuable, this is for you. Okay. Because this is a very, very common, I want to say pitfall. It's like a psychological pitfall. We think that just because we've done something our whole life that it's not that great. And for me, I used to think that helping people like set up a software. I use this software called Go High Level. I've used softwares like ClickFunnels in the past, or any kind of like marketing software. When I first got started, it seemed really obvious to me how to use these things because I've grown up around softwares and video games my whole life. So navigating menus and figuring out where things are is like really intuitive to me. It takes me maybe 10, 15 minutes on a new software to figure out how to use it. And so that's something that I always took for granted as I became an entrepreneur. I just assumed like, oh, other people can click around and figure it out for themselves, right? So it's not that valuable for me to help you set up an email sequence or a landing page or something like that. And I would really take that for granted. I didn't think that it was that valuable for people until I got myself into a position where I was helping them for a company. I actually got hired to do it. And then I started to think, well, maybe this actually is kind of valuable for people because there are folks out there who don't almost ever use computers, and then they're jumping into something that uses a computer. And here I am, I've done it my whole life. I'm the fish who's been swimming in the water, and the computer has been my water. And while I didn't think it was that great, they did. Right. And so I had people like thanking me, like, wow, you really made this simpler, right? You made this so much easier than I thought it was in my head. Or, you helped me with this so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And like I would hear these people say these things to me, and I'm like, I don't really deserve that. Right. It's not that valuable a skill. So why do I deserve the praise for this? And so I had a really hard time taking praise for stuff like that for a long time. I probably still do. Like if you took the time to thank me for something that, like fixing a tech thing, I'd be like, all right, cool. What's the next thing? Because it's so natural and intuitive to me to work with tech, right? But after some years of working with clients and mentoring people and building out systems for people, I have realized that this is a very valuable skill that people need. Um, and it's not just something that I should take for granted just because it seemed easy to me. Okay. And so just because something seems easy to you does not mean that people won't get value from it. It could be the easiest thing in the world, right? Helping people breathe. Actually, that's not that simple, is it? Um, we can go back to helping people eat. Like if you're like a caregiver, right? You're helping people with very basic needs around the house, but it's hard for them. That's the whole point of the caregiving. You're doing basic life stuff that probably even a child knows how to do, but doing it for somebody is a nuanced way of implementing that skill, right? It's not just how do I eat? It's how do I help this person eat? How do I keep them consistent with their habits? How do I get them to where they need to go? There's a lot of different problem solving kind of areas with things that even if they're simple, you can still make them incredibly valuable for people. And then there's the fact that no matter how simple something is, everybody's shifting towards AI, right? Everything's becoming automated. Everything is becoming more mechanical and more robotic and kind of the same. And a lot of media posts and pictures and copy is starting to sound and look the same. And it's starting to become, very, very noisy. A lot of people are able to create higher quality content without as much effort. And so there's a lot more content out there, and there's more noise to shift through. Right. And so as everybody shifts towards this autonomous AI robot world and everything starts to look the same, then the value of you is actually going to go up. The value of you being a person, of you connecting with people, being there as a real connection in their life. That value is going up like crazy. I mean, I don't even know how to get into that, but just the value of being you is now becoming more valuable. That's the simplest way I can put it. Back when all businesses were people, like back in the mid 90s, we didn't have, even really computers weren't even a big thing yet. Right. So there was no automation, like everything was done through phone calls, face to face. You had to be there, shake hands, sign contracts in person. Everything was pen and ink. Right. And so relationships were built kind of naturally because you had to work with people. It was not an option. You didn't have the option of having your AI solve your problem for you on the phone. You had to talk to somebody. So relationships were being built much more naturally. Was it 70 years ago or something like that? They were built much more naturally, and people had more people skills because that's the way that we grew up, right? We had to talk to kids on the street. We weren't 11 years old on the internet playing Fortnite with people halfway across the world, right? We didn't learn all our social skills by typing on a keyboard. We learned them by playing outside and meeting people. And the value of that's going up because less people are doing it. Right. And so this idea that you have a skill that is not valuable is crazy. Almost everything is getting valuable now. Just being a person for other people is becoming valuable. The base standard that we used to have for trusting a business is now like super, super valuable because nobody wants to do it anymore. Um, Most people are gravitating towards this. I want to automate everything. I want to make it AI can handle it for me. And then as a customer, a consumer, we're left with whatever automated response we get when we talk to the AI. And if you're not good at talking to AI, the help you're getting is going down. And so the value of people is shooting up. It's going up like a freaking rocket. And so just starting a business nowadays and being a human behind it and not trying to automate everything is value. So I got some questions here. I can sort of just stretch your mind a little bit with. And so like if you have been thinking like this, like I don't know what is valuable for me to do for people. I don't think I have anything valuable. If you're kind of like that, because you think that the things that you do are easy for you and they should be easy for other people too, kind of like what we've been talking about, ask yourself these questions. Okay. What do people repeatedly ask you for help with? What do people repeatedly ask you for help with? What do people thank you for? What are they grateful towards you for? Right. What feels unusually easy to you, but difficult to other people? That's kind of a tougher one because you have to really think about from other people's perspectives. Like, would this be hard for them if they haven't been doing it their whole life like me? What mistakes can you spot immediately? Right? Maybe there's a certain area where you just pick them out right away. And it's probably going to be an area where you don't think it's that great. What would have taken this person 3 months that you helped them solve in an afternoon? Okay, what would have taken this person 3 months or a long amount of time that you helped them solve in a short amount of time? Have people already demonstrated that they value this, even if they haven't paid yet? Right. So maybe it could be in your family, right? Maybe your family is always asking you for something. What are people asking you for? Is kind of the gist of this because you are not the determiner of your value. You can determine like how valuable am I to me, right? And in sort of a personal growth sense, you can determine how valuable you are to you and you can invest in yourself and you can have a high self-worth. But as far as a business goes, that does not matter. Right? The only way that that matters in you valuing yourself is how much you believe in yourself. Okay. If you believe in yourself that you can get a result, you'll make that happen probably. But as far as offering an actual service, it does not matter what service you think is valuable. It matters more that you think you are valuable. Okay. As far as a service goes, it matters what other people think are valuable. Because people are not going to pay you unless they need the value, right? And it's kind of an oversimplification, if I may. Essentially, any time somebody thinks that the value they're getting is higher than the value they're paying, they will buy. It's as simple as that. And so that's very subjective, right? You need different things at different times. Um, for example, a new phone may not be that valuable to you right now, but when your phone breaks, it might become one of the most valuable things. So timing matters, right? So the fact that I really want to leave you with here, besides other people determine the value, the fact that you think something is so obvious or easy may actually be the evidence that you need that you're exceptionally good at it. If you think something is like, if there's something that people are asking you to help them with all the time, and they're always coming back to you for that, and you think it's obvious and dumb and easy, that's probably evidence that you're really freaking good at it. And you should maybe do that. And so, like, back to Taylor for this example, Taylor's so good at organizing that she's got her whole life organized all the time. And when someone asks her for help organizing, she just thinks, I do this all the time. It's not that great. Just organize your own house. It takes 5 minutes. And where Taylor might take 5 minutes, that person might take an hour because they don't know how to organize. It's not intuitive to them. When I was working at the Container Store, this was true within the people that I worked with. I personally, when they had me on like working the cash register, for example, um, some customers would come up, put a bunch of items on the counter, and I'd take out a bag and I'd be like, I bet you I can fit all of these in this bag. And they'd be like, no way. And I would do it like 99% of the time because one of the things that's really intuitive to me that I took for granted was I have an intuitive sense of filling space. When I have a bunch of objects in front of me, I can almost immediately tell you if they will fit in a space or not. Like, let's say, we're getting groceries or whatever it is, or we're buying something at a store. I can tell you if it's going to fit in our car or not, almost 100% of the time. And it's just this weird talent that I've picked up. I don't know how I picked it up or where it came from, but it's something that I took for granted for a really long time. I just thought, like it's it's not that valuable, is it? But it's kind of this organization thing where organizing a space and making it simple is really easy for me. But for other people, they're not thinking like mathematically and logically about how a space fits together and how to make it simple. It's just something that I've done. And so, like, you can be standing inside your own competence for so long that you lose the perspective about what other people struggle to do. Okay, that's the whole point of this. You can be living in your environment for so long, dealing with a problem for so long that it seems so freaking obvious to you that you don't even think it's a skill that you can help people with. So, the core lesson here is that your most valuable ability may be the one you're most likely to underestimate because you experience it as normal. So, I invite you to explore this idea. Let me know if this applies to you. If this lands with you, if this resonates with you, please let me know. I want to know kind of who out there that I'm connected with is struggling with this very thing. Like maybe you don't think that you have anything valuable to offer. I'd like to know because I'll probably, full disclosure, spark up a conversation with you and try to help you with it. Um, So please let me know that. And then I think we're about done here. I'm going to hop off here in a minute, but I'll let you know that there's a link on the screen. If you want help turning your passion into a business, even if you don't know what your passion is yet, you can use that link. It will help you find your passion. That is an app that I personally built. I did not buy it from somebody. I did not have somebody else build that for me. I built that myself from scratch with the help of my technical tools that I have. So that is my app. And if you are working with it and you want a feature in there or there's a bug or something, tell me directly because I am the dev for that app. I will literally go in and fix it myself and make sure the app is running smoothly for you and does what you want it to do. The whole point of the app is to help you find your passion, turn it into a business, and scale that business. And so if there's anything in there that does not help you do that, or anything in there that you would want changed, or you would want it done differently, or there's a more helpful way that you can think of to get the result that you're looking for in there, please let me know. Because I am looking to make that app the best app for turning your passion into a business. And that's going to be based on you guys. Because like I said earlier in this live, I don't know how valuable it is because I only know how valuable it is to me or how valuable it would have been to me if I still needed the help with that. Right. And so I live in the water of having found my passion now. I already know I'm clear on it. Okay. So it's harder for me to determine the value of certain steps in the app. So, and if you've been kind of paying attention throughout this live, that should make perfect sense to you. So I need the outside input from you guys to help me make that app better. I want to make it the best passion app in the world. So without further ado, I'm going to hop off here. Let me know in the comments if this was valuable for you. Let me know if you want me to cover a particular topic or a particular question in the future. I would love to do that for you. And as always, there will be a link in the description in the future for you to request up, jump on here, ask me questions, and get some free coaching. Um, so that is it for today. If you watched, thank you. Thank you so much. If you are watching the replay, let me know you're here on the replay. Thank you so much. Drop me a like, please, if you liked this. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. I will probably not be on tomorrow because my wife and I are going to a birthing class, and that's like 3 hours. If I'm not tired afterwards, maybe I'll hop on, but most likely we're going to come home and eat dinner. So I might see you Sunday. Thanks for coming on here. Again, hope this was valuable, and I will see you next time. See ya.